You just want to talk to people for just a moment, and I'll reset my camera so I match you up a little better. You got the better. All right, we're jumping in. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, let's see what happens.
Okay.
There we go. Good. It worked out. Boom. All
Boom.
right, we're here. We're live, I believe. It should be. All right. So why don't you start by telling us who you are, and obviously you're an attorney. I'm going to adjust my camera while you talk for a moment. Just share, how many years experience you have. You're a criminal defense attorney, I believe. If you just want to talk to people for just a moment, and I'll reset my camera so I match you up a little better. You got the better image.
All right, sure thing. So my name is Adam Balatin. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I practice in Chicago and in New York. I've been doing this ever since I've been wanting to do this ever since I was in high school. It's my lifelong passion to defend the rights of those accused of anything between a traffic ticket and all the way up to murder and everything in between. I understand that you've been reporting on the Maxwell case that has kind of become the newest and latest hot button trial that's making its way through the media. Last week it was Ahmaud Arbery's murder trial. The week before that it was the Rittenhouse case up in Wisconsin. And I think that what we wanted to talk a little bit about today is how people in my shoes and in my seat view this type of wall-to-wall coverage on criminal cases. And I don't want to control the interview, so I'll let you kind of do your thing too.
No, that's fine. Because, we already talked about where we're going, so we both know where it's headed. And they know that I told them a million times. Because I repeat myself a lot sometimes when I'm killing airtime. What we're talking about is why the Maxwell trial isn't covered, and I think that there's some things that need to change. Overall, I get both arguments to a degree. Like, for example, we did a poll yesterday, and 84% of the audience, out of like 250 votes, said that we should live stream all trials. It shouldn't be. And I did another poll where they said the defendant shouldn't even have a choice. What do you think about that as a lawyer?
So I think that a lot of the times what we have when we do these opinion polls, the people responding a certain way may not really have ever been told or been explained why things are the way that they are. So, for instance, the Sixth Amendment guarantees the accused the right to a public trial. In today's world, that definition of public has kind of shifted in the eyes of people who want to see every single minute of every single testimony that happens in a courtroom. But what the Supreme Court has basically subscribed to, and something that I agree with, is that when you have people in a setting where they know that everything that they say and every move that they make is being broadcasted live to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people all over the world, they change the way that they act, because they're not just telling their story to the 12 or 14 members of the jury. They're telling their story and they're doing their job in front of millions. And that changes the way that people act. For some, it becomes more of a performative act, a performance where they're really trying to push an agenda or become famous. For others, they may become more reserved, where they may have said something to the police or said something when they're making their police report that now they're embarrassed about. And that changes the way that the testimony and the evidence comes in, and it alters the way that the trial actually unfolds.
And that's something I didn't consider until you said it, that it can impact the performance of the lawyers and the defense and the witnesses even. That's something probably most people don't even consider when they say something like that.
Yeah, because, and I'm not I don't know the judge. I've never practiced in front of the judge who's handling the Maxwell trial. I've never put a judge that handled the Rittenhouse trial, and I didn't practice in front of the judge who presided over the Ahmaud Arbery case. But if you look at the way that the judge in Wisconsin acted, and you look at the way that the judge in Georgia acted, and the way that they basically carried themselves during the trial, there were instances at the Wisconsin trial that were alarming to me. One of those instances being, and it was widely reported on, when the judge asked in front of the members of the jury whether anyone was a veteran. And it just so happened that the defense witness who was testifying had served our country. And the judge asked everybody in the courtroom to stand and applaud and thank him for his service. Now, yeah. on a regular day, that's commendable. That's great. We should all be thanking everybody who laid their lives on the line for our freedoms and appreciate them.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. I slept in a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why I kept going white like that, but I was just trying to get you guys something while I was being late, and YouTube wouldn't let me change the time. I don't know. Let's see. Turn up the volume a little bit. Here I am. Boo, boo, boo. All right. Sorry about that, guys. And I got some videos I might want to show you from my past. It'll be fun. It'll be a little fun in the meantime. The breaks here, I think. All right. So what's been going on? So yeah, that was the interview from last night with the lawyer, criminal defense attorney from Chicago. It was an interesting perspective, coming up from why isn't the trial being broadcast, or why isn't it there even an audio recording, much less. So that was interesting little take. Boom. So, interesting thing there. Let me see. So yesterday, we had the pilot testify, first victim allegedly come up. Man, I still have to say it. Currently, Jane's still on the stand, testifying still. Let me see. Boom. But, all right, how you guys doing today? California. Where's everybody from? You got California in here. I know we got Texas, even though it didn't pop up. What's up, Anita? Woohoo. Oh, and Connie. Did you guys make up? You and Connie make up, Lee? It's white hot. Is there a blizzard out? It's white hot. Oh, Lord. How's it going, Claire? All right, ZZAB. Audio only. Yeah, I don't know why the screen kept whiting out. It was weird. I saw it on my end, but I thought I fixed it, and then I went off, and then I come back, and it's white again, and then I fix it again. I don't know. Who knows? All right. So, we got this trial here. Oh, and I wanted to get something squared away here. Apparently, a lot of you come from Telegram. What's his name? Ezra Cohen, I guess, shared it. Thanks to him for that. So I get where a lot of you guys are coming from. Just kind of gives me a better perspective of the audience, and that's awesome. Because I get it. So I appreciate that. Still don't want to say too much on that, but that's it. So yesterday, and that's one thing I wanted to clarify. And it just popped up again. I guess his name's popping up again today, right now. 15 minutes ago, he's brought up again. So it is the perfect time to bring this up. Let's jump into this one. Look at that. You see that black screen? That's that screen I'm talking about. Let me get you up here. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting forever. So I just jumped on before I prepared everything. All right. Boom. I'll hide down here in the corner. It's me, Mario. All right. So his name's coming up again. Trump. Donald Trump. Now, I want to talk about Trump for a moment. Since I was going to avoid it. And originally I was going to bring it up, and then just now I felt like avoiding it. And then when I went over the tweets, first one, Donald Trump. And this is all in the context of Ezra Cohen sharing this, and I greatly appreciate that. So I think a lot of you would hear from that. Trump, dude, he was, I guess kind of, say when I was really young, I liked Obama when I was really young because I was traveling, I was homeless. So I got it. But then, like, towards the end when he started forcing people, I was homeless when he started forcing people to pay for health care. And I was like, what in the world? You're going to force people? I guess I should get myself up here if I'm talking. What? You're gonna force people to take health care? To purchase health care? That was crazy to me. And so I really didn't like that. But then I kind of just got disenfranchised with the presidency entirely. Then Trump comes along, and he did a lot of amazing things. First of all, getting rid of the penalties related to that very thing that turned me on Obama. I was like, I was very liberal back then. I was a bum. I was just traveling, eating out of trash cans and whatnot. We'll get to the case. I already know there's the comments. But this isn't, I'm just trying to explain, because now I kind of see where the audience come from. I'm trying to explain my position because I get a lot of random hate mail about bashing Trump and stuff. And then, I'm going to get the opposite too. I'm just giving you my perspective on Trump. And then one of the other things he did, because I was kind of going through Ezra's feed too. Let me make sure I got his name right. It's Ezra, right? Where the hell's my phone? Oh, God. Let me see. It's got to be right here. I don't know. So, yeah, it's Ezra, right? So, I was going through his feed, and he had a video up about Trump talking about why we're here today, rounding up these types of rings, stopping the minor trafficking and stuff. And when that was early on in his presidency, maybe even before, it was one of the first things he did, wasn't it? And I certainly noticed that, and that I was like, whoa, that is awesome. Like a president taking a stand, right, against that. And I loved him up until 2020. Mask mandates, warp speed, okay? I don't know. That's where things turned for me. Just like with Obama and the healthcare thing, I was like, just like a shining light, like, whoa, why are you pushing this? So that's my position on that. I still love the guy, but I don't know why the mandates of the jabs and all that. That's where I turned, right? But his name is coming up in this trial too. And I mentioned that yesterday, and I see it in the comments. I didn't even know for sure if that was true. But I see that it was mentioned in the trial now. And when I was reading Ezra's feed, he made it clear, he's like, well, Trump never went to the island. And I think I could be wrong. I did believe it's true that he only flew on the plane one time. So that does not implicate him. But this all kind of stems out of the mentality, too, that people want to crucify Maxwell without a trial. I think Epstein actually went to trial in Florida somewhere in 1996 or something. If anyone can find that case, please at me on Telegram, at Healing Law. I want to bring that up and break that down too. There was a case where Epstein was convicted, but I think I know nothing happened, right? Nothing happened from it, but other than that it was like known that he did it. And so if anybody has that case or can find it, I'll try and check the comments, but I don't want to get distracted right now by doing that. At me on Healing Law and Telegram. So with Maxwell, there's a lot of, it seems very suspicious, and I'm just trying to maintain, because the founding fathers, right, gave us the right to a fair and speedy public trial. They gave us the right of innocence until proven guilty. Well, they didn't give it to us. They recognized that God gave that to us. And especially in this modern age where people are just flame warring on the internet about this and that, it doesn't do us any good to sit there and say, Maxwell's this and that, Trump is this and that. It doesn't do any good. That's why I like the court system to a degree, because once there's a court of record, there's facts. Well, then we can read the facts and say, this happened. This actually happened. And then ideally justice comes from that, right? We're all hoping for justice in the Maxwell case. But we don't know what that will be. And the funny thing is, I was just going through the Telegram chat this morning. Let me make sure everything's good. Sound-wise. I couldn't find you on Telegram. It's definitely there, Claire. I gave you the link yesterday. I went to the chat and I shared the link. T.me something. T.me/trial talk. Or at Healing Law. I forgot where I was going now. Just want to make sure the audio is good. But, the thing is too, we have to maintain that mentality so that when we see, we don't know what Maxwell did. I don't believe she's been convicted in court like Epstein was. Obviously, there's a lot of evidence suggesting what she did. But I don't think that there's a court record yet. And that's why I think it's important that we don't attack someone. Because the same could be said for Donald Trump. He flew on that plane. He hung out with Epstein. Is he now implicated just like she was? If you have that mentality for her, you have to have that for him, or you can't have it for either. Because you can't be saying that, he was flying around with them, right? And he's not guilty, but she was flying around with them, and, she's obviously was the significant other of Epstein, so it is a little different. But I don't know, we just got to take our time a little more. And then the moment I start speaking, right, that same mentality that some people have, and most people don't have it, but there's just like a few fringe people, it's so funny. Anyways, let's get into the case. Well, let's see what this is even in regards to. So they're talking about going to Mar-a-Lago, Jane and all this. So this is the prosecutor. Now the prosecution's bringing up new names today. So that's interesting, because yesterday the prosecutor wasn't bringing up anyone. She wasn't mentioning any other names. Maxwell. Also, you guys were ragging on me about the way I said Ghislaine. Okay, and then I told you what I thought her name was. I thought, etymologically what her name was. But now I keep saying her name over and over, and her last name's the same. I'm not gonna explain it too much. Maxwell. That's all I'll say. It's the same thing. So is it a scripted name? I don't know. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So I'm going through the Telegram, and the chat's looking for pictures of Maxwell. Because nobody's seen any. We just see these watercolorings, and they look like we talked about yesterday, they look more like Kamala Harris than anything. So, no, I guess the thing is, people believe she's not even in the court. And even if she was, you only got people in the wings looking at the TV screens. So, I can only imagine that they only have one shot if they're not letting... if they don't want it to get out there, they're not going to have different angles and cuts. It's probably just one broad shot, and then they have audio being fed into these wings. So the reporters probably only see a tiny little dot on the screen who's supposed to be Maxwell. So it could theoretically be someone in a wig, right? So we don't really know if she's there. But the funny thing is, what I'm wondering is, if she is found guilty, and I'll do this poll, if she is found guilty and she goes to jail for 50 years, will anybody believe that? Because we're not going to see photos of it. Let's do that poll. I already know what the answer is going to be. I don't even know. Will she really go to jail? How's it going, suffering him? I just can't. If I pronounce your name as I'm reading them, I just can't see it. It's just I can only see most of it. All right, guys, I gotta find my phone. You know what it's like to be in this era without a phone? I don't know. I'll find it eventually. I'll find it during a break or something. Focus on these disgusting artist puppets. And people like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, who flew more than once. Oprah. Yeah, but see, I get that they flew more than once. You're right. That is something we need to mind, because just because somebody flew one time, you know, maybe they didn't know what was going on, and then they get, you know. So one time is different than what, you know, Clinton, what did he do? 8 or 9 or 10 or actually I saw it earlier, 23, I believe. See, I woke up so late that I went out and I had to go get coffee. So I didn't feel like making it, and I had to get water because I can't drink the water here. Oh, and I started talking to the lady at the store where I got the water. We talk sometimes, and she said she was talking about rescuing a dog and stuff, and I told her about this whole thing, and she's like, "Oh, you're one of those pod people." I thought that was funny. Oh Lord, am I still sitting? Yeah, I don't think so. No, I thought for. I rushed up here, and I do it all the time where I just place it somewhere. Oh, that's why. That's not looking. There we go. Maybe let me see how that comes out. That's where I usually have that. Just got too many lights. I don't know. I don't know why it's so washed out in the background now. Because I know I've had that open other days. I remember opening that up much earlier in the morning. It's just so washed out. Which annoys me, but I'll fix it during a break. Oh, and during the breaks, guys, yesterday I was trying to play my podcast, but I was going through my old videos, and I found an old video you guys might find funny. I don't know. It was in relation to, like, you know, the NewsGuard app on Microsoft. Me and my brother made it. It's a funny little thing. Have I seen the list of defendants? Oh, there's other defendants in the Maxwell case? No, I don't think so. You know, I never printed up the original. No. There's not multiple defendants in this case. Nah. It's just, there was multiple defendants. You would see it. I'll pull it up here. They would be listed on every page. Yeah, here, I do have the case. No, this is the, well, yeah, it's the original indictment. Because, like, I'll give you a different example. See, like, it's going to take me forever to pull that up. Actually, no, it shouldn't. Jimmy Watson. She's the only one. There's no 30 defendants. There might be other names. No, there's not even other names in the thing because we read the whole thing. That was what we did the first day. Half of the first day is I read the whole indictment. There's no other names other than Epstein. Epstein's the only one named in here. And what they did say, because I remember I made a big point of this, is they kept saying others known and unknown. And now we're getting to trying to pull up the, you guys have already seen it, but I'll pull it up again. Why not? PDF. Oh. So, here, see, if there was multiple defendants, they'd be listed right here. You only have Maxwell. She's the only one. Because if you look at, like, the Watson case, where John McAfee and Watson were indicted. Let's go to my article. Mine is the best. Maybe. 7-count indictment. Boom. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll open up the PDF. There we go. Cool. So if you go to this one, you see John McAfee and Watson were charged together. So there's no multiple defendants here. But there might be. But I think the FBI is very cautious to do that because they don't want to charge everyone for the same thing and have let's say they're trying to do the right thing. They wouldn't want to implicate a bunch of people on the same charges and then have those charges fail and then everyone get off with it. So they're probably, let's say they're trying to do the right thing, and this is, what we, the public knows it is. This might be used to leverage other cases, maybe, because initially we all thought that they were going to really limit the evidence to not even include other names, but now we see names being dropped left and right. And somebody told me to focus on the other people who flew on the plane many times. You can't just overlook the fact that Trump was on that plane. Like, so if you're worried about all these other people and all these other people were going to this island and doing this terrible thing, or going to different apartments and, flying around the world with Epstein doing terrible things, you can't just overlook your guy. Okay? He's a man. Okay? He's not God on the earth. And as much as I loved him, it pained me to think about these things too. But, how's that? All right, boom. All right, let's break this down. Let's see what happened the day of trial. So yesterday was a lot of discussion about blocking evidence and stuff. I don't think we got into this because it was around the time I was just falling apart. And when I came back, I only did a quick recap. Again, this guy's Inner City Press. I wonder if Jack Posobiec must be covering this too. I had to pull up his feed. But I know Jack Posobiec gave this guy a shout out for doing such an amazing job, so I don't know if he is there. And the Rundown Live is supposed to be going there. He said on Monday he was going. So if anybody knows he's there, let me know. I don't know where my phone is, man. All right, I'll do my fancy reading here. Fortunately, there's not too much to go through. Hopefully we won't have the freaking pilot come back on and start making jokes. Good Lord. That threw me off. I was too tired to be reading that guy. He was being so sarcastic. All right, 7 hours ago. This will be my first time reading this, so. USA Day 3. Jane is still on the stand and under cross-examination. Intercity Press reported the overnight briefing. Oh, there's an overnight briefing. Oh, Lord. Yeah, he said that he's going to report on that. That might be a podcast you may have to go listen to on his thing. So if you guys want to know what that was about, maybe I can look at it and come back with the afternoon stream on and cover that, but I'm not going to cover that right now. Otherwise, you can go to his Twitter and get it from him directly. And he definitely, shoot. Judge Nathan, if you want... If you want the judge... Oh, that's what... Okay, so they kept trying to bring in... They kept trying to bring in other evidence to impeach the witness. And the judge was like, it's not time, it's not time, it's not time. I did not cover that yesterday. So the defense is trying to impeach the witness, saying that she's not credible. Actually, I'm shocked at the poll result here. First of all, it went in the opposite direction. Second of all, it's actually the closest poll I've seen. If Maxwell is convicted, will she really go to jail? 51% say she actually will go to jail. I think that kind of shows if people have some faith that things, there is law and justice in this world, right? I think that's what that shows to me. Yeah, I kind of thought it'd be the same. So that's funny. I'm kind of shocked by that. I was not shocked when I said, is Epstein still alive? And 70% of you said yes. I wouldn't say yes. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't make a claim, but I'd probably say yes if I saw the poll. And again, a lot of these people disappear, like John McAfee, the same thing. People think the same thing, and it's so odd. It was right after Epstein, I believe, McAfee. And I know I bring these two cases up, and a lot of it is because I'm going to be covering that one too, Jimmy Watson. Which is I'm gonna like covering that one a lot more because it's much more lighthearted, and I know I try to make humorous of this situation as much as possible because for me I can't look at it if I can't maintain a positive attitude. So, and I don't want to be feeding fear. Satan feeds the fear, man, and that's what this is done. These people do this. People do evil to feed fear. So if we talk about the evil people do in a manner which feeds fear, we're in the same system as them, in my opinion. So I don't want to be spreading fear. And I think that I don't do that, but people probably get mad at me about being a little too casual about this conversation, and I get that too. It's a fair claim, but it's my style. It's how I deal with life. It's how I look back in my past at all things that happened. I'm like, that's pretty funny now. As terrible as that was. If what the defense bring in this to Pete, oh my gosh. I don't know why when I try to read this I get stuffy again. I must be trying to speak a different from my nose or something. Let me again, this weekend I was sick and it's an issue on air. let me play something. All right, speaking of lighthearted, I'm gonna play this. This is a video back when I used to watch The Man with the Documents that I made this. I think y'all know The Documents Man. When I say The Documents Man, we know who I'm talking about. I think I got the documents right here. All these people are gonna go to prison. Documents. I used to watch him a lot. He's pretty cool. Well, back when I watched him, he's talking about NewsGuard, and I thought I was trying to make videos to I was trying to figure out how to reach people, man. I didn't know. I was just going through a phase. Me and my brother were trying to make content together. We had a podcast for a moment. It was called My Brother's Podcast. And this kind of was an advertisement for that. We never really did much with it. I don't even know if we got a whole episode up. Look there. See, I got banned from Wikipedia for I made a video on that. Let me pull up the right one so I can see where I'm at. Boom. I got banned from Wikipedia for the Documents Man. Where was it at? It was just here. Oh, there it is. There's the Documents Man. There he is. See? The Documents Man. Right here. I got banned from Wikipedia for standing up for him. That's what they said. Even though I was just trying to get the truth on Wikipedia, God help me for my beliefs back then. I thought I could make that happen. Oh, Lord, they're so biased. But this is my... It's a joke, obviously. This is my brother's podcast. We made a... That was kind of the joke. Because when you say, oh, I have a podcast. Oh, what's it called? My brother's podcast. And because it was me and my brother, right? We made this NewsGuard thing together. And I watched it last night. I thought it was funny. I know a lot of people haven't seen it, but maybe this audience will appreciate it. Because it's just, NewsGuard's hilarious. NewsGuard being the thing on Chrome where they'd say, oh, you're allowed to read this news story. Or you know, rate the news like, oh, this isn't a reliable source. And I think it actually went through. But whatever. I'll give you guys this to entertain you while I go. I got to find my phone too. So hopefully this will not be over by the time I get back. But all right, I'm going to play this and I'll be right back, guys. If I can find it.
Feel like you're surrounded by the fake news. Really just wish there was some... You ever feel like you're surrounded by the fake news? Really just wish there was someone there to hold your hand and tell you it's true? I certainly do. So many liars and fakers out there. How can anyone really know what's real? I mean, can I really know that these stairs are right in front of me? I don't really know. Whoa! Thanks, NewsGuard!
Oh my God, you have the best conversations. I'm gonna watch the news now. Let's see what's happening in the world. The TV's so great because it tells us what we need to know. Donald Trump said CNN's fake news, Eddie. Are we supposed to believe it? Is CNN true?
Hold it right there, you fat bitch!
Who are you?
I'm motherfucking with the NewsGuards. Here to tell you what you can and can't believe.
What do you mean?
You're just a piece of shit. Superheroes. Okay? It's an app on the fucking App Store.
There's an app that can tell me what I can believe in and what not to? There's an app that can tell me that?
Look, bitch, I'm here to tell you about the Russians that are all around you. There's one right there.
He's just been staring at me this whole time?
And there too.
Oh, really? No, that's just my neighbor, Dave. Just your neighbor, Dave. How you doing, buddy? Checks in on me from time to time. I love that guy. See you next week. Oh no, it's the Russians.
Can you fucking believe it?
Fake news is everywhere. I'm a fat piece of skin. Making sure everything's groovy, man. I thought the Russians only existed in the emails.
Did you know there's Russians everywhere?
Fake news.
I know you're a Russian. Leave me alone.
There's Russians everywhere. There's one outside the window.
How long have they been there?
seniors.
Sorry, guys. Talking again without the audio. Boom. Obviously not everybody's forte, but hey, I thought it was a funny little skit. All right, let's jump in here. Making fun of the Russians, because I thought that was so funny, the Russian collusion. What do they mean the Russians hacked the election? I don't know. I have an interesting theory about that. Maybe I'll get into one day. It actually ties into, well, God, I know you guys are waiting for it, but once I get into it, it only takes a moment, so. Russians hacked the election. I had a podcast, a different one. You know, I've been doing so many things over the years. Where I was talking to one of my guests, and he said, what if they mean when they said the Russians hacked the election, that the Russian media said that Trump won, and he didn't. And then when he said that, it was a month before Biden's election, and everyone was saying Trump won the election. And I remember one of the big things about that election was that the media, it says the AP, like when the vote tallies were coming in, it said the AP calls this election for Biden, the AP. And we went based on the Associated Press's call. So, you know, it comes off that theory. If you think about that for a moment, you'll get what I'm saying. All right, boom. Or you won't. And you'll just think I'm even crazier than you already do. All right, so the defense is trying to bring in new evidence to impeach the witness, Jane. They have a hard case here. I don't know how they could. Let's see. If what the defense brings in is impeachment of the witness material, it's not a Rule 16 issue. So we're talking about rules here. Nobody really cares. Nobody, because we don't know. I don't even know what Rule 16 is. The witness couldn't even recognize the photo. It wasn't impeachment of what she said on the stand. So I guess she saw a photo. You know, I think he missed an hour or something, a couple minutes. Actually, he said there was, so we might be missing something that I can't learn right now. Inner City Press, he said something happened overnight, and I know that before the court closed, the defense was trying to impeach the witness. They were having a discussion about Rule 16. She was trying to bring in 2 new pieces of evidence. And the judge was basically saying, I'll bring it in when it's time. It's not time for that, is kind of what they were saying. Maxwell's lawyer, in her application to Interlochen Music School, she listed the address that he showed her yesterday. Maxwell's lawyer, she already said on the record she had the same place Epstein until she moved, blah, blah. Okay, so the jury's still not in the room at this point. This was 3.5 hours ago. They're back, Judge. The jury is ready. We do have one issue to raise with at sidebar. Judge Nathan, let's see if we can go to the break before. Boom. All right, so there's tabloid articles. The Assistant U.S. Attorney General does not want them added. No will raised to remove them one by one. So there's a bunch of articles. A general internet exemption. So there's just more. It's evidence, you know. It's the kind of stuff that's not interesting to most people. I guess what comes out of evidence can be interesting, but the rules about evidence and debating it, it's like nobody wants to hear it. So she was living in the pool. Boom. Let's see. Did you turn 17 in your final year at Interlochen Music School? No, I was 16, she said. Jurors, pick up a smaller binder under your chairs and turn to J3. To impeach the witness as opposed to a president. Okay. And I think that impeaching a witness doesn't necessarily mean much. Basically, you just show the jury that they're lying, like what happened in the Rittenhouse trial. Kendry was impeached, I believe. I could be wrong. He was impeached essentially because he was discredited. His points were proven wrong when he had statements here where he said exactly what the people were asking him, and he was pretending not to know the answer to. So he was basically impeached. And your application said that you come from a long and loving family, right? That's what it says. Do you recognize the document? I do not recognize it per se, but I see my signature. It's your signature. It's your application to Interlochen, Menger says. When you spoke to your younger brother, you didn't mention there was a woman, correct? I don't think so. And you told the news that if you were approached by Ghislaine, no mention of Ghislaine, right? I don't remember that. When you got back to Epstein's house with your mother, your house was in West Palm Beach, right? No, it was in Palm Beach. You didn't cross state lines, did you? No, I didn't. There were only 3 of us having tea. Now, how has he gotten to the point where he's not only tweeting about the case, he's replying to people's tweets while he does this? This guy's like, he's got to be one of the fastest tweeters in the world. Have you ever spoken with your sisters about your boyfriends? I don't have any boyfriends. U.S. Attorney General. Can I have a brief sidebar about this? Whispered sidebar. All right, Judge Nathan, go ahead and ask. Does it refresh your recollection? Yes. And there was nothing sexual in the theater? Right. Yesterday it was said shortly that after the pool house that you had an incident with Epstein and Ghislaine, right? Objection as to a form, the prosecution. Specify what you're talking about, says the judge. Objection. Manager says this is foundational. You told the government you do not have specific memory of the first time with Ghislaine. Objection. You have come up with the memory in the last 2 years. Question. It's a question. It sounds like a statement. I don't know. Often there's not much of a difference. I don't believe I have come up with a memory. No. Again, they're going with that whole theory that she's making this up. Memories in her head. It is not typed upright on this form, says Jane. Another typo by the government? Objection. You told the government Ghislaine never used sex toys or a vibrator on you, correct? Correct. Manager went to ask if Ghislaine ever seen her perform oral on blah, blah, blah. We're not going to have a blow-by-blow for this portion. Oh, God, that was what he says. Okay. So he said, no, we're not having a blow-by-blow because he doesn't want to tweet it again. I just saw another one of his tweets where he said he felt dirty tweeting what he did. So listen, I'm doing the same thing. You know this is real news. When the guy has to take his chicken out. Look at 3908, page 5. Does this refresh your recollection? No. You said Ghislaine never saw you perform on Epstein. I don't recall. Look at the document. Let's take a break, says the judge. You told them you only remembered one incident in New York when Jelaine was present. Jane, I don't recall. Look at evidence. Have you changed your story? I didn't understand the question. You told the government you flew from New York with Epstein and Jelaine to see The Lion King. Jane, I said that, but I was incorrect in my timeline. I was 14. You were a student at the Theater of Arts at the time, correct? Objection as to form. Nathan called another break, saying Jane needed a drink of water. Now she's back on the stand. Let's go to your conversation in February 2020 about The Lion King. No, objection. Man, there's a lot of objections here. I know Miss Mo would like to come and do this for me. I object to that, Mo. But The Lion King on Broadway didn't start until you were 17 years old. Did the government of Mr. Glassman suggest to you that you might have meant The Lion King movie? Objection. So you recall going to the New Mexico range, a giant, huge home, correct? Like all homes, like all the homes. And that Epstein's brother went with you, correct? I don't recall. You weren't asked to have any with Epstein's friends, were you? No. Did Epstein introduce you to people in the arts? Not really. To the dean of the Interlochen at the cocktail party? I don't recall. I mean, that's one of the hardest things about these kinds of cases, right? You're talking about somebody when they're 14, 15, and 16. I have very limited memory of that time. Like, this whole thing about fabricating memories, though, I know some people do. I think people who lie chronically fabricate memories. So there is that, but I don't think people generally fabricate memories. I know that there's a lot of things on TV like that, but to me, I'm like, I don't know. I think that's just something trying to make us distrust ourselves. You said you met Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago before the pool house incident. I don't recall. You said Epstein took you to a dark green car to Mar-a-Lago to the meeting with Donald Trump. Asked and answered, and also misleading. That was an objection. You also had some recollections about flying on a private plane with Epstein, right? Yes. You said you were asked your weight when you got on the plane, correct? Yes. In 2019, before Epstein was arrested, were you contacted by the government? You were contacted by the government, right? Yes. But you said you were not interested in getting involved, right? Then you hired Mr. Glassman, a personal injury lawyer, with objection. Did you see his ads touting his big verdicts? He's a friend of a friend. Is he your contingent fee? Is this your contingent fee agreement? Yes. And guys, like I said, Epstein, I believe, was actually charged in a Florida court somewhere. There's an actual record. I've seen it before. Or heard of it. Maybe I didn't see it. False memories. If anyone can find that at Healing Law on Telegram, I will read through that. Because that would be important to this case. Because then there's some kind of a record. Because if they're trying to pretend like Epstein wasn't doing this, I don't. You gotta understand, guys. I'm trying to, I got liabilities here. All right, I'm looking at the comments now. Oh, are we? Yeah. See The Lion King. I think they were talking about the play. I saw The Lion King play in New York City. I don't know why. It was one of the only times I ever went to New York City as a child. I saw that play. And I think it was in, what year was that? It had to be 95 or 96. No, it had to be before that. It must have been, see, now I don't remember if I went when I lived in New York or if we went to see my grandmother and then we went from there. So it could have been 97, 98. I don't know. Guys, be sure to slap that like button. Let's get up to 100. Let's get it up to 100, baby. All right, let's see if I got that. Boom. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't know. See the thing? Thanks, guys. Keep hitting that like button. We got 92, 94. Can we get up to 100? 95. All right. Yeah, guys. The thing is, again, I want to make this clear. When we're talking about this type of stuff, we have to be very careful not to be spreading fear, because the whole idea behind the wickedness of these people is to spread fear. I mean, that's the spirit they're feeding off of. Is the spirit of fear, the creation of fear, which creates fear in others. And when we talk about this, we have to be careful that we aren't spreading that spirit. And I guess there's some faith. Oh, sweet, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good. Keep going, man. If Maxwell is convicted, will she really go to jail? 59% of you say yes. 41% say no. Let's see. That's interesting. I think that shows faith in the system to some extent. Faith that there is justice left in society. I'm not used to having so much stuff on my desk. And it's just been, I haven't had time to organize as much as I usually do. And I have to have more things just to do this. So I get distracted more easily. All right. So we got Jane on the stand. The defense is trying to impeach her. And let's see. All right, now you can turn this light off. Boom. Maybe. What's up with this camera today, man? That's good enough. All right. Oops. Sorry, guys. Boom. All right. You've talked to your ex-boyfriend, Matt, right? Right. Says Jane. Boom. And we're caught up with that, but I think it took me a while to get through that. All right, so she doesn't recall meeting Trump. Boom. Has some recollections about flying on a plane with Epstein, right? Yes. And again, guys, if you guys find that, I'm going to look for, once I catch up with that, we're going to do some research if I don't have the article. If you got, or not the article, if you guys haven't sent the case to me, I'm going to track that down, because there was a case, to my knowledge, that he was proven to have done what is alleged, and then we can talk about that. Then I'll feel I can open up a little more about what I'm not to censor my speech so much. In 2019, before Epstein was arrested, you were contacted by the government, right, Jane? Yes. But you said you were not interested in getting involved, right? Then you hired Miss Glassman. Objection. Boom, boom, boom. You were 15 years old. Did you take the trip from Italy for a singing competition? I may have. I don't recall. I was 15. And at 16, you traveled for a sibling? Maybe. And you were in a beauty pageant sponsored by Donald Trump? Yes. Do you recall crying that Jeffrey Epstein only gave you $2,000 for a dress? No. You were on a reality TV show with Matt, right? Yes. So this girl's now she said in the beginning that she's basically a Hollywood LA actress, and she wants to remain anonymous because of that. And there was tension, and you cried? Reality shows are not really reality. You claimed you were putting a roof over your family's head. I don't know if I use those words. Question. You told that to Matt. Answer. They were living in my house. And you demanded money from Maxwell. I have a lawyer. And you sought money from Epstein Compensation Fund, exhibit blah, blah, blah. You were offered how much? $5 million. We'll break for lunch, the jurors. So we already knew she got $5 million. That was stated yesterday very clearly that she got $5 million. She made that known. But she got, because of lawyers and all that, she only got $3.9 million or something. Let's see. Is Maxwell really in the courtroom? I like the window being open, but I don't like the washout. What happened, man? Oh, you know what it might be? Ooh. I think the camera wasn't so directly pointed at the window. Oh, there we go. Whatever. Now I don't have to worry about the lighting. That looks better, I think. I think that looks better. Although I like the window in the shot. Just brings some nature into the scene. All right, let's see if we can find. I do believe Epstein was convicted. Of something. Let's see if we can find this together. Actually, I'm going to ask you guys in chat. I've asked you since. Maybe you guys have been saying in the chat. Was Epstein convicted? Does anybody know the court? As of yesterday, she was in the courtroom because the witness. So we have people seeing her in the courtroom, apparently. As of yesterday, she was in the courtroom because the witness had to identify her. Yep, okay. Good point, Coco Deep reporting. Good point. Good point. Because people are looking for pictures, and there's no pictures, and that makes people suspicious. But, this isn't unusual for a federal proceeding, especially when this isn't a big case where, with Rittenhouse, I believe he wasn't in jail while he was being tried. He was able to get bail and get out. Maxwell, I believe, is in jail. So you're not going to get pictures of her in jail. So that makes sense. Does anyone know if Epstein was ever convicted? Yes, convicted to death. You're stupid. Oh. Coco D reporting. Are you in New York? Why is my phone blowing up? Does anyone know if Epstein was actually convicted? I believe it was in the 90s. I heard it on the Document Man show. He had the documents, and so do I. Shoot, the chat is so calm today. Normally there's so many restricted messages because people just going off on the forum. Oh, I found, San DRO says, I found a DOJ document about Epstein. Jane is mentioned on page 4. I can send it to your email if you want. Yeah, sure. I don't know if the address to send the PDF file. You can email me at contact@healinglaw.com. Yeah, PDF would be preferable. If you have like a doc, that's why I like the documents. I like the documents from the government. You know, I like to get to the documents. I see this is a government record. It's been vetted. This is like primary information, right? So, boom. Uh-oh, we're at 50-50. Oh, Lord, this is a split vote, guys. Make sure you guys vote. Is Maxwell really in the courtroom? We got 50-50. Oh, man, it's going the other way. But we did... The victim did have to testify to the fact that that is Maxwell. So, that was a great point. That was a great point. That's very true. That does kind of put Maxwell in the courtroom. So, without photos. I mean, you know, unless this is just all a play. All right. Epstein was... Oh, so, yeah, email me that document if you have something from the DOJ. Contact at Healing Law, or you can reach me on... Oh, cool. Thank you. May 2006, Epstein was charged with multiple counts of unlawful minors. In June 2008, he appeared in court and pled guilty. I want to find that record. 2008, June of 2008. Epstein, June 2008. Okay, conviction and sentencing. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll use Wikipedia. Has crazy. I'm just gonna use Wikipedia. If you guys have these court records, I can find them, but I just don't want to. It takes a moment sometimes. I don't want to do that while I'm live. Epstein's mugshot. That's his most recent one. Jesus. No, what is happening? No, I'm not going to use Wikipedia. It's too much information. 2008 conviction. Thank you, Kit. He pled guilty to prostitution. Is that what he actually pled guilty to? Or is that just a misleading headline? Man, the internet was so much different in 2008. Oh, Lord, come on, guys. This is a freaking 20-year-old article. All right, I got the document. Thank you. Now I need to forward it to myself. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm going to do myself a little shameless plug here. If you guys want to help me keep this going and maybe improve it a bit, paypal.me/healing law. I'm going to pin that to the top. Anything helps, guys. Especially because I had to pay for some of these court records. If I go back, I stopped looking those up because I'm paying like a few bucks every time I have to refresh them for the Maxwell case, so I stopped looking them up for now. If you guys can make some donations, I'll happy to keep finding those, and we can keep going through them if that's what you're interested in. If not, I get it, but I'd appreciate anything, guys. Let me email this to myself so that I can get it up here. No, now it's getting cloudy out. Oh, is it going to be... Guys, I just like to have the window in the shot. I'm very picky with my shots. I don't know why the window's blown out. It's not even bright out. Yeah, so we're pulling up, I believe, what's the charges of Epstein. What he's actually convicted of. And we'll go through that for now. Sweet, thank you. Yep. All right. Boom. All right, let's read this. I'll read this while we're waiting for more to come out. And I probably won't be on until 5. I most certainly won't be. But, well, I'll come back on like I did last night, and we'll do like a recap and maybe do a little brief interview. I think I have somebody wants to come on and talk about a topic about private courts. So, if that works out, that works out. If not, either way, I'll be here to recap and finalize for the day. I just can't do so many hours every day. I'm gonna wait for this to print out, but I'll pull it up here for now. All right, so here's the court record. I'm going to print it out so I don't have to keep blowing it up here to read it. I should have the first few pages already. All right, let's see. Count 1, sex trafficking conspiracy. Oh, that's not... See, why did they say prosecution? Well, this isn't the charges. This is what they originally charged him with. What he pled guilty to was prostitution. Well, is that sex trafficking? Oops. Ugh, I hate that I can't adjust this one. All right, so count 1, sex trafficking. The grand jury charges, as set forth herein. Over the course of many years, Epstein, the defendant, sexually exploited and abused dozens of minor girls at his home in Manhattan, New York, Palm Beach, Florida, and other locations. In particular, let me get that daggone thing out there. Can I do that? You gonna make me change it all again? There we go. In particular, from at least in or about 2002 up to and including at least in or about 2005, Epstein, the defendant, enticed and recruited and caused to be enticed and recruited minor girls to visit his mansion in Manhattan, New York, the state in Palm Beach, Florida, to engage in acts with him, after which he would give the victims hundreds of dollars in cash. Moreover, and in order to maintain and increase his supply of victims, Epstein paid certain victims to recruit additional girls to be similarly abused by Epstein. Okay, this is the allegations. I don't know what he pled guilty to, and I will keep reading this unless you guys don't want me to. But I think people want to hear it. But the point I wanted to make is he spent no time in jail for this. Oh, he was. Okay, he was convicted. He went to 8. Okay, these are the allegations, and just bear in mind, he went to jail for 18 months. 18 months. To engage in acts with him. After which he would give the victims blah, 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 blah. Okay, I was on page 2. This way, Epstein created a vast network of underage victims for him to exploit in locations including New York and Palm Beach. This is starting in 2002, but the ones against Maxwell, which once included Epstein, 94 to 97. So this goes back even further, obviously. The victims described herein were as young as 14 years old, and at the time they were abused by Epstein, the defendant, and were, for various reasons, often particularly vulnerable to exploitation. Epstein intentionally sought out minors who knew that many of his victims were in fact under the age of 18, including because, in some circumstances, minor victims expressly told him their age. In creating this network of minor victims, and creating and maintaining this network of minor victims in multiple states to exploit and abuse, Epstein, the defendant, worked and conspired with others, including employees and associates who facilitated his conduct, among other things, contacting victims and scheduling their encounters with Epstein and the New York residents. I imagine he got charged with conspiracy then. Why weren't these people charged? Was anyone else charged in this? It says that his employees and stuff, I bet some of his employees might have went to jail for a long time. And he got off with 18 months. Does anyone know of his employees getting arrested? Is there any record of that? His employees being charged? I wouldn't know any of their names or how to find them, but I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. It looks like I'm a little quiet. Even when I'm yelling, good Lord. I think that's good. Yell at me if that's too loud. Does anyone know if other charges were filed against his employees and stuff? Are we literally at 50-50 with this one? That's crazy. 50-50 with 102 votes. Is Maxwell really in the courtroom? But I find this... I find it hard to take... Knucklehead says, I find it very difficult to take any of this seriously without a chicken on the desk. I would love to have them here the whole time, but they start making a mess after a moment. So I can't have them on the whole time. Does anyone know if anybody else was charged? Many are being charged. Let's see. Courts are not corrupt, guys. That's what I'm trying. The thing is what people don't realize that a courtroom, what a court is two parties coming together with the judge. That's the court. Each party is equal parts the court. So that includes you. If you go to court and make claims against someone, you are the court. And in fact, when you're the plaintiff, you are charging the court. You're the lead of the court. The judge mediates. So the court can be your own in certain circumstances. Should I read this? I shouldn't read this whole thing, right? Conspiracy and, yep, trafficking. I'll fly through. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Because we already know this. But okay, it's good to have this because now I know when I'm making claims we can, boom, factual background. We already know. New York residents. It's kind of similar to what we see with the Maxwell thing. Palm Beach residents. I think there's only one charge here. Statutory allegations. All right, what else was there? From at least in or about 2002 up to including 2005 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Epstein, the defendant, and others, known and unknown, willfully and knowingly did combine, conspire, confederate, and agree together. A lot of this is literally the same exact language used in the new one. 15 years later. And agree together with each other to commit. So it's like, I guess he got charged on certain things right here, and they used the same factual basis. Well, no, it's not the same, because it's a different timeline. But they used the same exact language to charge him again. Maybe he did kill himself, knowing that this time he wasn't just going to get away with it. I don't know. Or maybe he was killed. It wouldn't shock me if somebody in that situation would kill themselves. Overt acts. In furtherance of the conspiracy and to effect the illegal objective, therefore, the following overt acts, among others, were committed in the Southern District in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. In or about 2004, Jeffrey Epstein, the defendant, enticed and recruited multiple minor victims, including minor victims identified herein as minor victim 1, 2, and 3, to engage in acts with him and Epstein in his residence in Manhattan, New York, and Palm Beach in Florida. In or about 2002, minor victim 1 was recruited to engage in acts with Epstein and repeatedly abused by Epstein. In or about 2004, employee 1, located in the Southern District of New York, and on behalf of Epstein, placed a telephone call to minor victim 1 in order to schedule. Was employee 1 ever charged? Minor victim 2, minor victim 3, employee 2. So they cite 2 employees here. I would have to go through these court records to find what evidence actually came out of this, if anyone else was charged, unless somebody knows. Count 2, sex trafficking. No conspiracy. I'm surprised they wouldn't add conspiracy on there. So that's that. So Epstein was charged. I just didn't remember. Because again, in the modern age, we have so much freaking information. I just couldn't remember. I'd heard that before, but again, he only spent 18 months for whatever he pled guilty to. He must have taken some sort of a plea agreement because wild. DOJ report. Let me see. Somebody sent me something else. Maybe this is a different one. All right. This is the most conflicting poll I've had yet. Is Maxwell really in the courtroom? Now we're at 48% yes, 50%, 52% no. He didn't kill himself. They never mentioned that island. Let's see. Well, that's what's being tweeted. So, in other legal news, Supreme Court signals it could restrict abortion in landmark Mississippi case. So that's kind of related. I don't know. To me. To me, that's kind of related. Let me see if this other document's different than one I just read. It might just be the same one again. Ugh, come on. Just download the daggone thing. Select an account. What? Why is it being like this? Alright, I can't open it for some reason, the way it was sent. Not for my phone, and I'm not logged in on my computer. Yes, plea agent. I firmly believe it's all CGI. Well, it's not even CGI this time. No one else was charged back in Epstein's time. That's wild, dude. Back in the older charges. Can you put diapers on the chicken? I might be able to. But then I'm definitely going to have to wash their butts afterwards. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to read through the comments for a moment, and then we'll check Twitter again, see what's happened. And I'll probably end it right there and then pop back on at the end of the day and see what happened. The FBI got videotapes from his house, and they won't. I guess they won't ever be able to be submitted as evidence without his statements, will they? Because then they're just hearsay. I think if the person who didn't take the video is alive, or somebody who didn't, if it's security footage, somebody has to attest to the footage being legitimate with firsthand knowledge. So that would give a reason for someone to off somebody with tapes like that. They have all the security cameras. But, yeah, again, somebody'd have to attest to the footage being legitimately from that location with first-hand experience, someone who took it. And without that person, to attest to that, you can't really use it as evidence, no matter what it is and how bad it looks. Unless the people in the footage can be like, yeah, that's footage of me, maybe. I know during the Rittenhouse trial, several times you had YouTubers or like live streamers that had to come in and attest to the footage. But no, not all the time. That's true. Because they didn't. I know the one I was watching, he didn't have to come in and attest, and they used his footage. But they did have to... I don't remember why. There was like an objection. One time Rittenhouse was speaking, And they objected to the footage because he wasn't there to testify, the person who took it. So I don't know. I mean, how would we know though, Denise? Maybe. But why would they... If the whole theory behind the tapes was he was trying to collect blackmail on others, why would he be recording himself? All the media is suspect to me, says Kim. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, live streamers, like, out in the streets, people, like... with a real view and they don't have political agendas and corporate sponsors, support them, look for them. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them came forth during the Rittenhouse trial, like, and brought that together. Without them, we would have never even heard of this. The only reason we even heard of the Rittenhouse trial was because there were so many people streaming. See you, infantry. We'll talk about later. Maybe we can do that. What we talk about later. Facts don't care about your feelings, Ben Shapiro. All right. Now let's check the Twitter one more time, and then I'm gonna jump off of here. Boom. Where are we at here? This one. Why did you do that? All right, so the defense trying to impeach the witness. We'll just fly through this one more time, and that's it. We'll break for lunch, jurors. All right, nothing new yet. They're still on lunch, so still on lunch. So I'll pop back on later and wrap up whatever occurred. We'll cover that, break things down. Have a I want to say a more loose conversation, but I'm already all over the place as it is. But we'll recap today, tonight, and maybe do like a. There's some things that are coming out of this and the Rittenhouse trial that I'm beginning to see that we should bear in mind as people who might have to interact with the court system at some point. So I want to bring up those things. Recap this morning. Not much happened, really. Just nothing, really. The defense is attempting to impeach the witness by proving that they're lying. That's about it. Thanks, Denise. There's not really much to recap. I'll recap this afternoon. I'll do the whole day. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Be well. Until then.